Hi guys, it seems like I haven't seen you in a while, so this week we're going to talk about distributive property, and then we will be adding on combining like terms with the distributive property over the next couple days, so that next week we can go back into solving equations, but one that actually have distributive property in them. So I'm going to spend this week reviewing and getting us ready for the next step on our solving equations, okay? So if you take a look at the worksheet that I put on there, there are 12 different problems, and I'm actually going to go over 2 of those problems from the worksheet just to kind of get you as a reminder of what we do with distributive property, okay? So when we looked at distributive property, and we've done this, several times, and we've talked about using the box method, okay? When we look at distributive property, I am going to take a look at number 5. You know that you have distributive property when you see these parentheses and then you see something being multiplied by the parentheses, okay? So right here, traditionally, you see the number being multiplied in the front. I'm choosing to do number 5 because I don't want you guys to get confused when the number's in the back, okay? So there's lots of problems with the numbers in the front, which is more of the traditional way of seeing it, but it's still distributive property when I'm taking a number and I'm multiplying it by an entire expression in parentheses, okay? And I know I'm multiplying it because they use the dot, and typically when you see that number out front, there will not be a dot. It'll just be the number next to the parentheses, okay? So remember before we had used the box method. So when I created the box method, there are 2 things inside the parentheses. So I'm going to put those 2 things on the top of the box, okay? And then we took the number that was in front most of the time, and we put it at the front of the box. Well, this time it's actually in back. I could still put it in the front, or I could put it in the back. It doesn't really matter which way. But what we did is when we took these, this is multiplication, right? So we're going to take -4 and multiply it by -8. And they're going to come together in here. So negative times a negative is a positive. So I get positive 32. And then next, I'm going to take my -3n and multiply it by -8. So remember that even if there is a variable there, that n is there, I still can multiply the numbers. So -3 times -8, okay, is positive 24, and that's still times n. So I get positive 24n. Since this is positive, I'm not going to use the minus sign anymore, okay? So when I simplify this, I'm going to get 32 plus 24n as my final answer. So today with distributive property, we are only focusing on simplifying, actually multiplying each thing on the inside of the parentheses by what's on the outside, okay? So we talked a lot about the box method, and then there were some of you who grabbed right onto when I use like the rainbow sign. So I'm going to show one with the rainbow sign too. But the box method you can always, always, always go back to. And actually the box method is really awesome when you get to algebra because you can learn how to factor some of these things. Yes, I know we're not there yet, but you will eventually do this. It makes it easier to factor when you know how to use that box, okay? So I'm also going to take a look at number, let's just say 8, okay? Or you know what? Let's do 6. Okay, so 6 is 8, parenthesis, -b minus 4, close parenthesis, okay? So this one is your more traditional one. We've got the 8 on the outside here, okay? And what I need to do is I need to multiply it by each thing on the inside. So when I talked about using those rainbows, that's what I was doing. I was taking 8 times negative b, which would be negative 8b. And then I'm taking 8 times negative 4, and I get negative 32. Now, I'm okay with that, but you have to be so careful. That's what I love about the box. If I chose to use the box here, I wouldn't even have to worry about my signs. I would literally put negative b and minus 4. Okay? And then on the outside, I've got my positive 8. So with the box here, I would make sure that I'm multiplying by the negative. So I get negative 8b, and then 8 times negative 4 is negative 32. Some people make a mistake up here because they aren't really paying attention to that minus sign here, that negative sign here. So if you notice, I get the same answer, negative 8b minus 32. Okay? So today you're going to finish that worksheet up and check your answers on Wednesday's agenda. Okay? See you guys soon.